What's up, guys? Welcome to another Destiny gameplay video. Today I'm going to be reviewing this legendary Crucible Pulse Rifle, 3 little words. I've dubbed it the Hawkmoon of Pulse Rifles, and you'll see why in this video. But here's the basic skill set on it. You've got Head Seeker, so when you chain body shots, it does additional precision damage down the road. I use the fitted stock for the added stability, and Third Eye makes this a very tactical and fun to use weapon in PvP. So let's get right into this. So the reason why I say this is the Hawkmoon of Pulse Rifles is because if you manage to land all headshots in 2 bursts, then it will take down any enemy from full health and full shields to dead. And you'll see that right here. And notice the range on this. From this far away, all 3 headshots, puts them down in 2 bursts. That's why I call it the Hawkmoon of Pulse Rifles, because 2 headshot bursts put anyone down, but when you're under fire like that, usually it's going to take you 3 bursts. And so the vast majority of my kills, you'll see, is about a 3 burst kill. Now, a lot of people complain about pulse rifles in the game. A lot of people say that they're underpowered. And so just even a couple days ago, there was a forum thread on Bungie.net asking for pulse rifles to be buffed. Now, the interesting thing about pulse rifles in this game is that the reason why people don't have success with them is because of their approach. And the problem is that when people put a pulse rifle in their hands, a lot of times they approach any situation like they would approach it if they had an AR in their hands. And an AR is an all-purpose weapon. But a pulse rifle really is not an all-purpose weapon by any stretch of the imagination. It's not something that you can just point and shoot and expect to do well. On the contrary, the way that you are successful with a pulse rifle is by playing a very tactical approach. And what I mean by that is pulse rifles really reward players who take the time to make sure that their target acquisition is spot on. If your target acquisition is spot on and you're taking the time to really line up your shots, then this is going to be a fantastic weapon for you. Because when you take the time to put that reticle right where you want it, and usually for me it's in the upper chest region to the neck region, because this gun is really stable, and with the burst, eventually you'll end up landing precision shots if you do it that way. But the thing about pulse rifles is most people are in the habit of basically just aim and shoot. As soon as they get the reticle in the vicinity of their enemy, they start pulling the trigger. And trigger spamming works with an AR, but it really doesn't work with a weapon like this, where when you pull the trigger, you're really committing to, like a solid second of fire. Because if you're not lined up properly and you pull that trigger, not only are you wasting time as you're firing off that burst, but also the additional time in between bursts, which is decently long in this weapon. It really forces you to be smart about your target acquisition. So if you're a trigger spammer and you're just pointing and shooting, which is what the overwhelming majority of people in this game do, then yeah, pulse rifles are going to feel really underpowered. They're going to feel like they can't hold a candle to anything else in the game. But that's really just not the case. If you're smart, if you're a tactical player, then the pulse rifle is really going to reward that style of player. So you'll see a lot in my gameplay here that I'm really trying to be patient and line up my shots the way they ought to be lined up. And here's a good example of a way I'm being tactical with it. I used flashbangs to blind people a lot, and you'll see that plenty in the gameplay here. And the effective range is fantastic. I mean, right there, 2 bursts, and I was able to out-snipe a sniper. And you'll see plenty of that in this game too. So I did try to pair this weapon with a sniper rifle, and I used it on my Titan class because it feels like a more tactical kind of a class with the flashbangs. And even right there, a guy with a Vex Mythoclast had the drop on me, and just because the impact is so high, I was able to turn and return fire, and since the impact is high, it made it hard for him to do target acquisition, so I was able to go 1-for-1 with him. So right here you just see how steady and stable the gun is, and a lot of people say pulse rifles are ineffective at close range, but the fact of the matter is, if you're being patient with your shots, even at close range, this weapon can be pretty deadly. So here I'm using everything in my arsenal. I use the flashbang to suppress, and then I come up over top, get the slam, and then run around here, grab some heavy from right out underneath them, and commence to go on a kill streak here. So the thing about pulse rifles is that they're not really run and gun style weapons, and a lot of people, that's all they do. They just run and gun. They sprint, aim, and shoot. But it's not really that simple with pulse rifles. If you're playing them in a tactical manner, you're doing target acquisition in a smart and a patient way, then you're not going to break any records for most kills in a game. I didn't have any 50 kill games using this pulse rifle. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's more of a gun where you're going to get a solid amount of kills and you're not going to have a lot of deaths. So it was really, really easy for me to sustain above a 2.0 KD with this weapon, and on some matches even having like 7.0 or 12.0, just because it's so rewarding if you really zen out and get in the habit. See right there's a 15 kill streak. If you really get in the habit of being patient with your target acquisition. This game here, there was a guy who was just lagging so hard, and this is still part of that 15 kill streak. Come down here, I clear him off the heavy, take it for myself since all my teammates are on the other side of the map. And then here you'll see this guy that was lagging super hardcore. I start laying into him right here. It's like, what? So you see him totally red barring. Now, like I said, this is a very tactical weapon, so I found that this is probably going to be my go-to weapon in skirmish from now on with my Titan. This is just one example of a skirmish match that I had with it where really we were just untouchable. Everything just worked. It's nice because I don't have to worry about big mob sizes. I can really just take my time lining up my shots and even getting outnumbered. Drop one guy, and then I use the flashbang to suppress, and then I move up and chase him down while he's disoriented. And the thing is, I came up against so many people using shotguns, and a lot of people rage about shotguns and how too effective they are. But the thing is that people really just put themselves in a position to get owned by shotguns all the time. They rage about how effective shotguns are, but then they're constantly running right up on enemies. But you have to be more tactical. You have to watch your radar. You have to be patient. Let enemies come to you in some circumstances. Just don't put yourself in a position. See, this guy's trying to shotgun me from that far away, and it's just not working. So don't get hasty and run up for the melee kill or anything like that. Just be patient. Find these bottlenecks, and then the heavy ammo's coming up, and I'm like, teammates, pointing at it, and they're not coming. I see red on the radar. And then I just use it as bait, basically. So that skirmish match, I was able to go 25-4, just because, like I said, I was being tactical, being patient, using my flashbangs, whatever I had to do to make sure that I had the advantage. This game here, I went on a 27 kill streak using a pulse rifle as my primary. And even at the point where I acquired heavy ammo, I just kept my heavy holstered and still relied on the pulse rifle. Managed to go on this 27 kill streak. Then there's this guy over here. I don't know why he was taking so long to line up his shot, but he's just chilling over there in the open. And then right there you see outgunning a Hawkmoon. The impact is high enough that it makes it so that for them, staying on target is difficult. So it gives me the advantage there. So I did like using a sniper rifle with this. I could kind of keep a mid-range distance, but then you've even seen me being really close quarters and still having some wild success with it.
Heavy ammo.
So here I get that heavy, but I still don't quite use it. I just leave it holstered. So all in all, I think that pulse rifles are fantastic weapons. The problem is that people just don't know how to play them. And when I argue with people about that, they're always like, well, they're still not effective at mid-range, so it's not about how you play it. Well, range is not the only factor when considering how effective a weapon is. That's pretty nearsighted. So you see a 10.0 KD, a 2.9 KD, 2.58 KD. Now notice, I mean, these aren't 50 kill games, but I'm still topping leaderboards, getting well over 30 kills in some of these, 3.45 KD. And then straight up 2.0. So those are the scoreboards from the matches that you saw that footage from. Now, PvE is a different story. I'm just going to play this footage fast for you because it's really nothing too exciting. When it comes to PvE, this weapon is kind of lacking. I think I would prefer an extra 2 bursts, like a 30-round mag, and I would definitely want a faster reload speed, just because it has trouble keeping up with mob sizes. So I wouldn't really recommend this pulse rifle for PvP or PvE. I'd use my Kratos timepiece over this one in PvE, even though it's a 30 damage pulse rifle. But I was still able to come out on top of the other guys by a significant amount of kills. So you can be successful with it. Well, I hope this was helpful for you guys. Feel free to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the weapon, guys. Thanks.